On today's show, Sticky Parkour Guru takes one giant leap across the nation. We take a trip to see the establishment rock with the football legends, meeting up with BBC Radio Nottingham's morning princess Frances Finn, and bizarre creations hanging out in the dark with GameCity Nights. But first...
1. You will do this 4 times with the left, 4 with the right, then 8 times with both, then repeat.
Meet Nottingham-born free runner Johnny Budden, aka Sticky. For 6 years he's been mastering the French urban art of parkour.
The way I learnt it was to get from point A to point B as fluently and efficiently as possible, not stopping, just carrying going. Sorry if I'm rambling, but my head's absolutely... the amount of time I think I'm mentally exhausted.
I wouldn't be surprised after a 30-mile run. Since April, he's been running in style from the top of Scotland all the way to Paris to raise awareness of motor neurone disease.
I absolutely love moving, whether it's climbing, jumping, running, and to lose the ability to do that is my deepest fear. I spent time with people who have got motor neurone disease, who have had people or loved ones that have been suffering from it. And I just felt really compelled to do something. I just feel like I've been doing parkour for 6.5 years now. I've performed in front of the Queen doing the Royal Rides performance. I've performed in front of the Sheikh in the Middle East. And I felt like I could really use all the friendships that I've made over 6.5 years and try and get it out there.
What you're about to see is done by professionals, so don't try it at home.
People who suffer from that, they have to overcome obstacles every day, whether it just be getting some food down there, or talking or communicating with people. I have to get over obstacles every day, but obviously not on the same level as them. There's a direct link there, and I just found really compelled.
For more info on his adventures, visit stickyparkour.com. You can also follow him on Twitter, YouTube and Facebook. The Establishment are a Nottingham-based band comprising of Stephen and Stuart Landon, Stephen Hobster, Neil Jacks and ex-Nottingham Forest footballer John Burns. Today the fellas are performing in a music video shoot for their debut single, Be That Way. Stuart McDonald for Connect heads over to meet the band.
What was your inspiration for this song?
Just remember, Stuart, one day I was sat in my living room and I picked up the acoustic at the time and I started playing this riff and I just thought, I really like the sound of that. And at the time in my life I was kind of reflecting on my football career and kind of where it went wrong or where it didn't go wrong. And at the time I was seeing a girl at the time who was making me feel really happy and I kind of mixed them both together.
Well, I'm just looking for some answers.
So this is your first music video. I just want to tell us a little bit about the video.
It's basically a live video, band playing live, and there's a few little cameos in it from a few certain people. It's not really got any kind of story to it. It's just basically a vehicle to push a single.
It's gone great. We went really well in London with the footballers. We got stacks of shots for that. We've We've had about 30 people down today for the crowd, so that all went really well. The band shot went great. No, it was really good day.
Just want to know what you think of the band and stuff, really. You know, everything okay?
Well, first off, I'm waiting for Burnsy to send me some bloody footage for it. But it's been good. It's nice to help him out, you know. Our paths crossed a few years ago when we were both at Forest.
Yeah.
And I'm pleased to see him doing something in the music business.
How did you sort of get dragged into it, anyway?
Well, from the pal, Des Walker.
Des Walker, yeah.
He knows all the boys from the band, and he asked me would I do it, and I said, yeah, no problems, you know. And plus, this is my man, so I had to come and make sure everything was all right down here.
Definitely.
I know you boys have travelled up from Nottingham and all that, I had to come in and make sure everything was all right for you.
We have, definitely. But what did you think to the music so far, anyway? You enjoying it? Or?
Yeah, no, the music's really cool, man, and I'm hoping it's a success.
I think the song's great. I think the band, I think the band are all great lads, and they've got the right attitude as well, which is, they're quite rock and roll, and they're quite kind of up for doing a bit of crazy stuff, which is what kind of worked with the video, really. I mean, it was their idea, the video was, but it was, it's good. They're dead easy to work with, and I think they'll go a long way.
The establishment's new single, Be That Way, will be entering the charts very soon. In the meantime, pop a quick visit to theestablishmentband.com and don't forget to add them to your favourites on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube and MySpace. What is it like presenting an award-winning mid-morning show? We popped into the studio with BBC Radio Nottingham's Francis Finn to find out.
The thing about radio is, it's live and it's immediate. And when I say immediate, I mean the relationship between you and the listener is more intimate, I think, than the relationship between a TV presenter and a television audience. And that, I think, is why radio works and why it has its appeal, especially speech radio. And to make it a televisual event, I think would just be defeating the object. I don't think you can have the best of both worlds. I think you've got to stick with that relationship. Me speaking, through this microphone to an individual, because you can't see, I think it has a way of engaging your mind and your attention in a way that can be, as I've said, a bit more intimate. We've got 5 songs to identify. You know what to do. You've got your buzzers.
Title and artist.
Title and artist. Okay. Here's the first one. Mark Dennison.
The Lars, there she goes. Phil
Mark
Collins,
Dennison.
Another Day in Paradise.
Oh, not so clever now.
Kicks in a minute.
Mark Dennison.
Jim Capaldi, Love Hurts.
Oh, that's an
Thanks very much indeed for coming today.
Win.
Thanks, everyone. Good night.
I've talked to quite famous people, Liza Minnelli, Cliff Richard. You've probably never heard of them. But anyway, these big stars, the one I was most starstruck by was Basil Brush. Because I grew up looking at Basil Brush. Fantastic. He came into the studio and we had a little dance together. We did the Foxtrot, which works a treat on radio. And no, it was good. We got on very well and he performed and played the role. And the listeners seemed to like it. So I quite like it when guests are relaxed, we can have a laugh, and they feel free just to do a bit of showing off. So he was good. And seeing as I'm talking celebrities, I'm a massive Strictly Come Dancing fan. Anton de Beck, he's a good turn. And again, we had a little bit of a dance. There's a theme here. It kind of has, in the sense that this job is it can feel a little bit isolated. And I don't mean woe is me, but if you're, say, an actor or you're a comedian, you've got your audience and you can see them. But here it's radio, you can't see listeners, you can't get a sense of how appreciated you are, whether they like you or not. Obviously you've got your listening figures, but it was great to have a bit of acknowledgement and a bit of recognition, because it doesn't come along that often. We don't get told every single day, you're marvellous, you're wonderful, we love you, which is what we need because we're egos, and that's why we're probably on the radio saying love me. So the Sony was a little bit of love.
We're from Stinxville, the city with the smell. We have to say what's on the card when we hear the bell.
Cockney Bobs and Bohemian Showgirls in the Galleries of Justice. I know you, like me, are probably wondering what is going on here. Let's head over and ask Imogen Joyce.
But it's promenade pantomime, so it's for grown-ups. It's very much a grown-up piece. When you come in, you get a glass of wine, you get introduced to all the cast, we chat you up, we try and charm you as best as we can, and then we take you on a tour through the adventures of Little Pleb, as he is tempted by the Crazy James and the Wicked Tailor and all sorts of unsavoury characters. I'm playing the narrator. So there's a cabaret twist to it as well, hence this rather strange outfit I'm wearing. And we've kind of tried to put a bit of flavour from things like Rocky Horror and Moulin Rouge, of course, and just as much naughtiness as we can pile on in there. So we end the whole thing in a big finale in the courtroom, where we all sort of high kick and dance our way through a big trial, and then we give you your supper as well. So you get a couple of glasses of sparkling wine and a very nice supper, and hopefully an extremely unusual and enjoyable show, which you have to take part in. Long ago, in a distant place, a young apprentice with a charming face. Yeah, I know, use your imagination.
Well, yeah.
Dreams of magic and colours bright, fine clothes and showgirls drenched in limelight.
All right, fair enough. You see, I'm looking for a stooge, a booby, a half-wit to sign his life away on the deeds to a little business I'm running alongside my tailor shop here in Stinxville. It's a sort of nightclub, if you get it. Full of wild dancing girls known as the Crazy Jane.
And Little Pleb just dreams of the day when he'll escape. See his story unfold, part sung, part read, and part simply told.
Bookings are available for time travel via stinxville.co.uk. GameCity, the Sundance of the gaming world, comes once again to the city, now in its 5th year. And with that comes GameCity Nights. Festival director Ian Simons explains.
My involvement is in the GameCity Festival and GameCity Nights events that we hold at Antenna at Confetti. The point of those is to invite interesting developers, such as Bizarre Creations with Blur, to come and show their work, supported by a whole raft of indie and student developers. So really it's a night for people who are interested in video games, both in the playing and the making of them, to come together and kind of, I guess, just hang out.
And so they did.
Is completely new to what we've done in the past. It's much more sort of action-packed, power-up based. It's much more about the intensity of racing rather than the actual simulation, the intrinsics of going around a track. So it's all about the emotional aspects, the aspiration of being a race driver rather than the actual technical ins and outs.
Liverpool game developers Bizarre Creations popped over to headline GameCity Nights held at Antenna to showcase their new release.
There's so much to think about as you're playing, and there's so many plans that you can formulate in your head. There's so many things that you can think, if he's got this power up and I've got this power up, but I'm in this car and I can go faster than him. It's all those little intricacies that make it interesting for me.
The way that the power-ups are placed on the track as well, it takes the player on different kind of journeys through each track, and you're constantly having to think about
to reevaluate what you're doing.
What shall I pick up this time? So there's always something to think about on the track. It's not just about driving around the thing and trying to finish first.
When we joined Activision, we had this opportunity to work on something new. We knew we weren't going to make another Gotham game, so we decided, how are we going to bring this to new people? How are we going to find our niche?
So you can see we've got this group of buildings here on the corner, and then we've got the buildings with the up and over sort of archways. That's what we've got there. I've certainly heard people that don't normally play racing games see Blur and go, I quite fancy that because it has that kind of shooting element as well. Sort of first-person shooting games and action games are really popular, and racing games has a smaller slice of the kind of overall pie in the gaming genres. but I think we're kind of crossing over. It's not just racing, it's about shooting your mates as well. And I think that's
shooting stuff.
Yeah, people do love shooting stuff and blowing stuff up.
We just add more violence to the racing game, and then that's.
With the GameCity Nights, we're trying to create an ongoing participation in the festival, and also a kind of community building around video games and around video game culture and around the festival that sustains the rest of the year. And what I'm trying to achieve is the same thing with the festival, really, which is to expose people, to give access to people to interesting things. I think video games, and particularly people who make video games, and the process involved in them, are really, really interesting. Quite honestly, that's what we're trying to achieve.
That's all for today's edition of Connect. From myself and everyone at Confetti, see you next time.